Hi guys, my name is Lydia and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my TBR for Spoopathon, which is a month-long readathon happening in October hosted by Spoopy Hall. This is all about trying to read spooky books. The premise of the readathon is that there's a haunted house and you get through the haunted house by reading books and building points to get through locked doors and defeat ghosts. I am on Team Ghostbusters. There are 5 teams. Team Ghostbusters is run by Ro from Wandering Through Worlds. The team colour is purple. Unfortunately, I don't have many purple books. If you read a book with your team colour, you get extra points. I think I've just got the one. So yeah, I have spent the morning putting together my TBR. I've also put together a TBR for Magical Hopathon, which uses a lot of the same books but completely different prompts. So I'll be doing a separate video for that. Spoopathon it's a very exciting readathon because you get to map out your little journey through the haunted house. I pledged to go through 3 times when I first signed up, and I realised, well, there's only 4 entrance points anyway, so I might as well try and go all 4 times. When I did that, I thought that there were 4 books for each time you go through the house, but it turns out there's 5. So I have set myself 20 books to read for Spoopathon, which could be ambitious. We're going to find out. And the key for Spoopathon is that you do have to read these books in order. So unlike something like Magical Readathon or Bookopoly-thon, where you use dice or whatever to build your prompt TBR and then pick from it as you want, for Spoopathon you start at a distinct point and you move through, and you can only get through once you've read the books that fill those prompts. This is quite a strict readathon, so I've decided that I'm just going to go from left to right with the starting point. So I'm starting with a book that has a black cover, and I have chosen Beyond the Black Door by A.M. Strickland. I don't know a ton about this book, but I picked it up when I went to Manchester to Queer Lit, which is their new bookshop with all queer books, and this has a sexual representation. The scoring system for Spoopathon means that every book that you fulfill is 25 points, and then bonus prompts, the bonus point prompts, are 50 points each. So there are 5 different bonus points prompts, which are queer rep or author, buddy read, spooky book, cover featuring the team colour, and recommended to you. This one has queer rep and it's also a spooky book, so that has an extra 100 points. So this book alone will get me 125 points. The points are used to defeat the ghosts and get through the locked doors, although on Team Ghostbusters it means you don't need any points to defeat the ghosts, but I mean, I'll have the points anyway because quite a lot of my books fulfill the bonus prompts as well. So the next step on this first pathway is a translated book, and I thought I was really going to struggle for this and I couldn't think of any translated books I have, and then I remembered Battle Royale. And what better time to read it than during Spoopy Hall's Spoopathon, seeing as I've bought this book because of her and how much she loves it. This is about a group of high school students who are sent to an island and they basically have to battle to the death. That's all I know about it, and that it's got a lot of death in it. I do realise I've got quite a dark TBR, like a lot of dark books, like colour-wise and possibly theme-wise. I'm not fully sure. But yeah, this is definitely the darker end of the spectrum, considering I usually have quite a lot of contemporary. I think I've only got 1 contemporary on this list, so that may make it difficult. The third space on this is a book that's more than 500 pages, and for this I am doing Legendborn by Tracy Dion. Ro has been recommending this over and over. I keep seeing it everywhere on book Twitter. Everyone is talking about Legendborn. Unfortunately, this is a really shiny edition. The normal edition is not this shiny. Being a book that's recommended to me gets another 50. Battle Royale was only 25 points. This is 75. The fourth step on this journey through the house is a book with diverse rep. I think most books I read have some sort of diverse rep, at least I try to. And for this one I've chosen XOXO, which is about a Korean girl, and I can't remember fully what it's about, but I know Maddie was recommending this. So this is a book that's recommended to me for 50 points and also purple on the cover for another 50. So this is 125 points, and it will also fulfill X from my A to Z challenge, which means I'll only have Z left. So if you know any books that begin with Z that are good, that I will enjoy, tell me. Number 5 is Read It After Dark. So this is literally any book that you read after dark. I have gone for Black Sun. It's a dark cover. It has black in the title, like night. I mean, sun is obviously the opposite, but also this, because I've made these 2 readathons line up, this also fits with the space for Magical Hopathon, because they're kind of coexisting, so I've made sure that they're in the same order because both readathons mean you have to read in a specific order. So this is what I'll be reading for Read It After Dark. This one gets 175 points because it has queer rep, it is a spooky book, and it is recommended to me because Ro keeps going on about it. So that's quite a good point racker-upper. So that's it for the first time through the house. Once you've been through the house once, there are no doors or ghosts or anything that you need to battle anymore to get through to the other side. The points don't really matter the next time around, but it's like team morale because you want to get as many points as you can for your team. So I think my total points adds up to like, it's over 1,500. I hope I'll do my bit for the team as long as I can get all these read. So the second trip that I'm taking through the haunted house, I'm starting with a book that has been gifted to me. This isn't easy because I don't get gifted books. If I get books for my birthday, it's because I've asked for them, and I've never had anything like off an Amazon wish list. The only book I could find that was gifted to me that I didn't ask for was Our Child of the Stars by Stephen Cox. And this is one that my mum bought me for my, I want to say 22nd birthday maybe? 2018, so yeah, it would have been my 22nd birthday. This is a Goldsboro book. It is signed and dated by the author. Don't know anything about this, but it's gifted to me, and it's about time I read it because she gave it to me 3 years ago. That one's only worth 25 points because it doesn't fulfill any of the bonus prompts. Next one is a book with an autumnal cover. And unfortunately, the book I'm reading at the moment has a really autumnal cover, which is The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. But I will have finished that by the end of the weekend. So, and it's part of my Spoopathon, so I can't use it for October. So I've gone with The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, another one that Ro keeps pushing. I've had this for a while when everyone was kind of going mad for the UK cover and they reprinted it. Don't know much about it except that I think it's like Russian-inspired fantasy. But the cover is very autumnal with the green and the red and all the leaves and the flowers. This one is 75 points because it is recommended by Ro. I'm trying to keep these in order on here so I know not to stray. The next spot on the board is a new genre. Now this is quite hard because I don't really restrict myself genre-wise when I read. I have gone for Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. I've never read any of his work. I've never come across any of his books really. But this is about artificial intelligence. It's like sci-fi. It sounds quite literary as well. Two things that I don't read much of. Path 2 also goes through diverse rep, and for this one I'm going for An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon. This is one that I've been meaning to read for ages. I first came across it a few years ago, I think. And it has also been recommended to me more recently by my friend Davin, and she said it was incredible. I've heard a lot of good things about it, so it's about time I read it. I finally got a copy from Queerlit. This racks up 175 points because it is queer, it is spooky, and it's recommended by a friend. So the last spot on the board for my second time through the house is again Read After Dark, and I've picked up Ash by Melinda Lowe. This is another one that I got from Queerlit the other day. I'm trying to fill my October with as many like spooky reads as possible. This seems quite dark and spooky. It's a Cinderella retelling. Don't know much about it except that apparently it's a Marmite book and people either love it or hate it. And it's also queer, so that racks up, I think. I haven't actually put it under spooky, I've just put it under queer rep, so that's 75 points. Trip 3 through the haunted house. This one starts with a comfort reread. I don't often reread books, but there's one that I've been really wanting to reread for a while, and that is A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers, which I have on audio. I would love to own a physical copy, but it's really expensive for a very short book. It's also queer. It was recommended to me by Maddie from Book Browsing Blog. That racks up 125 points. It's such a sweet little book. It's very short. It's only 160 pages, and I highly recommend it. It's a great one for fulfilling readathon prompts because it's queer, it has a non-binary protagonist, it has a non-human main character, it's under 200 pages. It's a very good one. The next one I don't have a copy of, but I plan to buy it at some point during this month, and that is The Sad Ghost Club by Lisa Meddings. That's for graphic novel. This is 75 points because it is, I can't remember, it's spooky because it's ghosts. The Sad Ghost Club is it's a cute little graphic novel about a sad ghost, a lonely ghost. I've seen it in the bookshop a few times and never picked it up, and now I wish I had because now I'm going to need a copy. And I don't want to pay £11 for a Kindle edition. That is ridiculous. Number 4 is Trick or Treat. So this is where I put a poll on Twitter and listed one book I'm not in a massive hurry to read and one that I do quite want to read, and let my followers pick up 2 options, and this is the one that won. This is These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. So it's spooky because it's witches, it's purple. Oh, so I do have purple books. 2 purple books. So this is, oh, and it's queer, so it's 175 points. This is a big point earner. The last spot for trip number 3 through the house is Read It After Dark again. Well, that's always going to be the last spot. There's only one final spot on the board. And for that, I've chosen Dark and Shallow Lies because it didn't fit any of the other prompts, but it's spooky, so I will read it after dark. Which is going to be easy in October because it gets dark at like 6 or 7 o'clock, and I often don't finish work till 6 or 6:30. So most of my reading is going to be done after dark. That one's 75 points because it's spooky. So we're on to the final trek through the house. The first one is to read a short book, so one that's less than 200 pages. And I've chosen... See, now I'm not sure if it's actually under 200 pages. I've chosen Sheets by Brenna Thumler. It's a graphic novel about a ghost again. Graphic novels are usually quite short, but I'm not actually 100% sure it is under 200 pages. I will double check that. But it counts because it's mostly pictures, so I will count it as a short book. Maybe I'll switch over Sheets and the Sad Ghost Club if it turns out one is under and one is not. That's 75 because it's spooky, because it's a ghost again. Although I don't know how spooky it will actually be. But anything with a ghost in it, I'm classing as spooky. The next one was really hard. It's something you fear. And I don't really fear much except like submarines. They really creep me out. But I don't have any books with submarines in them. I don't have any books with clowns in them, which are also very creepy. So I've picked up What Big Teeth because, I mean, that's pretty creepy. It also involves a sudden death that rocks the family, and that is a big fear of mine. I'm terrified that a sudden death will rock my family, so that is also spooky. So that is 75 points, I think. Yeah, this is 75 points. Stop number 3 on the final trek through the house is non-fiction. Again, not something I read a ton of. There are a couple that I haven't read that I have on my shelves, but they didn't really fit the spooky vibe, and I thought, why read one that I'm not that fussed about if I could reread one that I know I love? So I'm going to be rereading I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. I listened to this on audio last year and it absolutely blew me away. It's true crime about the Golden State Killer. But what I loved so much was Michelle's writing and like how poignant it was that she died before she ever got to finish the case, and then it was solved later, partly due to all the research that she had done. And after listening to the audio, which I literally lay on the sofa to finish it after a long drive because I could not move until I heard the rest of the book. Usually I'll only listen to an audio like when I'm driving or if I'm sleepy, but I literally just lay there until it was over. So I'm excited to be able to read it in physical copy. And yeah, that's definitely spooky because it's about real serial killers. This is 75 points. Number 4 was another Trick or Treat, and I gave my Twitter followers another poll. 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. This is one that I've been wanting to get to for a while. I did read the first chapter, I think, when I first got this copy in the post, and I really enjoyed it, and I just haven't got round to it because it wasn't on my TBR. Not spooky in the slightest. The cover is remotely spooky. It's gorgeous, though. This cover is incredible. I'm sad I don't have the Fairy Loot edition because their edition is absolutely stunning with the cranes down the edges. I don't think there's any queer up. I don't know about whether the author is queer or not. So yeah, that's just 25 points. And finally, we're at the last book for the entirety of Spoopathon. This is book number 20. So it is an ambitious list that I've got. Especially ambitious because I need to read them in order and I'm a mood reader. So this could be a shit show. The last one is House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland for Read After Dark again. Again, it's a spooky book. It's creepy looking. I mean, that cover is creepy enough alone. 75 points for spooky. So that is my very ambitious Spoopathon TBR. I have a lot of reading to get through. Oh, and I've just realised I've missed one off. The third book of Trip 3 Through the Haunted House is a new genre again, and I've chosen Nevermore. That is a middle grade, which I don't read much of. Again, very highly recommended by Ro and Gav, I think it was them. I'm working an awful lot in October. I think I've only got one day off. We will see. I've really enjoyed putting this TBR together and like writing it all out in my notebook, writing out all the little prompts. So I hope it will go to plan. I've really enjoyed doing Magical Readathon and Bookoplathon in September, so I hope doing Spoopathon and Magical Hopathon will be just as fun in October. It will be harder, but I'm excited. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you are taking part in Spoopathon and what team you're on, and share your TBR with me. Are you reading any of the same books? Have you read any of these and do you like them? Let me know what you think. I will see you in the next one.